I was in that first Try Not to Laugh with the gang, with Olivia. I don't know how she comes up with the things she comes up with, because they're beyond just weird.
When we did Try Not to Laugh live, I had a plan to do the singing Big Mouth Billy Bass, and now he's going to do World War II. And everyone was like, oh.
I think Try Not to Laugh, we also have a tendency to be hard on ourselves.
Oh, for sure. So
I was like, you did great. I was a dumpster fire.
We all
you did
do
great.
that.
If somebody's giving money to Pokimane, big deal, it's not your money. Do I sit outside a strip club and yell at people for throwing their money?
Not anymore, because I'm not allowed on the property. Time to cast.
Time to cast a pie.
Pie. We're doing our best.
Time to eat a pie.
Eat a pie.
Oh yeah, speaking of eat a pie, did you eat any of
your
birthday pie?
You haven't?
I haven't yet.
You have 2 whole pies.
I have 1 pie. I gave the other to Brennan. Because Brennan has a bunch of roommates. And I was like, you guys eat this. I'm not going to take 2 pies home, have a couple slices of 1 pie, and then throw another pie away.
It's your birthday. What is that if not a monument to excess?
Yeah.
And just
gluttony.
Just gluttony. For context, it was Shayne's birthday yesterday, and he was given pie by...
Banana cream pie.
Which is very topical for this podcast, which is coming out, what is this, October 50th.
Yep. September 19th.
September. It was a chill birthday. I had a COVID birthday.
Nice.
Can't believe I ended up with one. I didn't think it was going to happen.
Really?
Back in like March, I thought by September, I didn't think like, oh, the world's gonna be completely normal, but I was just like, oh, I'll be able to, it'll be different by then.
Keep it up, buddy. You might have more than one.
Boy, dude, that's the problem is like in March, I was like, all right, we got to plan on this till summer. Now I'm like, okay, I'm planning on it till next summer. But honestly, I'm kind of like, is this just life?
Is this normal?
Is this just life
from now on?
I saw some article that was like, this is just the beginning of the pandemics for like this new future that we live in. And
Welcome to the SmoshCast.
Now, if you don't know, we're a comedy channel. Just trust us on that.
Oh my God, man! I know it's been just brutal for everyone, but that in March there was a part of me that was kind of like, as an introvert, was like, oh, like I'm excited to like get some more time alone. Sure. And now by this point, and I know everyone feels it, but I'm just like I'm like this virus, man.
Yeah,
like really just like
on.
God damn.
Those are strong words. You don't like this virus?
Well, we do have to politicize everything, don't we? Can't agree on anything.
God. Yeah, but I'm just like, oh, I'm tired of it. But I know it's so much worse for so many people. Like I think about that. I'm like, if I'm frustrated, I'm probably in the top 1% of like, this has not f***ed up my life that much.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I'm frustrated, I can only imagine how everyone feels.
Well, it's doubly frustrating knowing that like so many other places have gone through this, taken the proper measures, and have come out the other side just fine. Like New Zealand has had 2 rounds of like, everything's fine. Oh wait, 1 person is up. Okay, let's close it down again, and we're back. Everything's good.
Yeah.
It's like, man, like
my neighbors have like a second home in Croatia, I guess.
Dope.
So they just like bounced for like, I don't know, like a month or 2. And they were like, yeah, we're coming back. We're really sad because like life was totally normal, or mostly normal. Like people were wearing masks and stuff, but like they were able to do things.
I might wear a mask forever.
I
might just start doing that now.
Yeah.
Like, why not? Because I have not gotten sick this year.
Same.
And it's been a long time. I usually get sick. Like I usually get a cold or something. I have not gotten sick this year. And I'm like, it's probably because I am taking all these measures.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, I was thinking about that with because flu season's gonna be coming soon. So, and I actually got a text from like CVS today being like, flu shot, and I was like, God, is it really that time again?
I need to get it.
But I mean, that's the thing, like, because we talked about in the office last year. We're like, hey, if you feel like you might possibly be sick in relation to the flu virus, we're like, don't come into work because like you can get other people sick, and several people did catch the flu last year.
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah.
That's always my frustration because we have an office full of troopers, an office full of champions that are like, no, honestly, it's not that bad. I feel like I still want to come in and get work done. I don't want to fall behind. And like every time someone does that, I'm like, you mother father, it has nothing to do with you.
But
you're right. I know a couple people that we work with who definitely have come in and they're like, yeah, I'm sick, but it's fine. And I'm like,
Go home.
No. I was like, don't. We're in a small space.
Yeah.
Get out.
One of us is going home right now. It can be me, but it would.
I think, you know, there's very small benefits to this year. And I do think one is like people are more conscious of sickness now. Because I think that mindset, if, you know, say in a perfect world in a couple of years, coronavirus is gone, right? It won't, but whatever. Let's say it is. People, I think, when they have the flu are going to stay home and they're going to be like, whoa, you're sick? I need to social distance and wear a mask when I'm around you.
My fear is that it might go in the opposite direction because we've sort of shown that our national like mindset is exercising freedom for freedom's sake, even if it doesn't make sense. It's like, because I can, because I want to. So if we've all been sort of quarantined for so long and had these restrictions, I think once these restrictions leave, you might have a lot of people that are like, yeah, I can do whatever with anybody all the time. And,
I think at least at the very, very least, I feel like a lot more people have learned how viruses are transmitted.
I hope so.
So
I
like,
would hope.
I think now you might actually start to see like where in like Japan, it was very normal. Once you feel sick, you wear a mask. If you ever feel a little bit sick, you wear a mask. And that was totally normalized there. Now I'm sure like, I feel like we're going to start to see like a normalization of that past. Once we get COVID figured out, like I think that might just become a normal thing that people are conscientious enough to put on a mask whenever they feel like they might have a virus.
It's definitely been split. I feel like this has split. We see two different types of Americans. There's people who are listening to experts, and then there's just a half of this country that thinks they're gods. Like truly, they're like, I know everything. No one can tell me what to do. I don't have to listen to anyone. And I'm just like, damn. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
We got
it's
a lot of
sake.
It's just, you're right. It's
like it doesn't even benefit
They
you.
just
It
don't
doesn't
want
benefit
anyone
anybody.
to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
Did you see the frat house in Florida?
Yeah.
They were like, the cop like came to like be like, hey, you guys there's too many people here. And they're like, oh, okay. And he like he runs the guy's ID on his database. And he's like, hey, this is interesting. You were flagged for testing positive for COVID. And the guy was like, yeah, I tested positive like last week. And he's like, and you have people over at your house and you're not quarantining? Well, our whole house has it. We're all positive. And the guy's just like, you could tell like the cop is trying to be like as like restrained as possible. He's like, you invited people over?
Hand on his gun, like, so you're telling me?
Yeah, that's so dumb. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's also tough because like I think with previous things you know have this sort of nihilistic mindset of like, well, natural selection. Guess they're gonna do stupid things and it's gonna hurt them, but it hurts everybody. That's the main difference this time. So you don't get to be like, well, do the dumb thing. It's like, no, for the love of God, our future is dependent on that frat house in Florida not being dumb, and that's what's terrifying to me because I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
No, man. Florida's always gonna be Florida too.
Well, I just mean more like whatever state, whatever
we're only
culture,
as healthy
whatever
as the
anything,
worst of us.
We're only as healthy as the worst of us.
There's dummies everywhere.
Exactly.
For sure. But America's doing pretty hefty work on the dummies. Like I gotta admit, like I know there's dumbasses everywhere. America's just we got a whole collection. Like it's like, man, Funko Pops. Like, you know, Australia's got some Funko Pops. UK's got some Funko Pops. America's Funko Pops.
We have every Beanie Baby.
We have every Beanie Baby. Just got a whole different thing.
Yeah, I got a little taste of the dummies when I made a tweet about climate change and got people telling me that it doesn't exist and that all of our fires, they're like, oh, but California just doesn't do brush maintenance.
Yeah,
which
we didn't sweep our forests.
Yes.
Thanks, Deborah 88055505.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, there might be something partially to do with some sort of maintenance, like not doing controlled burns, that kind of stuff. I get that, but California isn't controlling all the forests in all of the world where everything else is burning.
Oh, carefully, and that's going to be the next conspiracy.
Yeah, right.
Like Hollywood controls forests.
Well, the new one was because the way that the federal government shows fires in the U.S., they're only showing fires in the U.S. So when they show like a picture of North America and they're showing where the fires are in the U.S., the dummies are like, oh, look, there's no fires in Mexico or Canada, so it must be set off by Antifa.
Oh, no.
And they're like, no, they just don't. They're just not showing where the fires are happening in Canada, which there are a lot of fires there as well.
It's
Yeah.
the same thing I've seen with like people likening COVID spread rates to 5G towers. So they're like, look at this map of 5G towers, and it's very much follows
Gee,
like the
could
big
it be in
cities, and then it's like, yeah, now look at these COVID things, and it's like 1-to-1. And they're like, I'm sorry, but I see this thing, it's got to be the same, and it's like, no, there's more 5G towers where there are a lot of people, and a lot of viruses spread where there's a lot of people. Like
Yeah.
The conspiracy theory stuff. I do think conspiracy theory fandom has caused like a lot of this bullshit.
I agree.
People
there's
love
been, like-
people love conspiracy theories, and conspiracy theories, in order to a whole basis of a conspiracy theory is to throw logic out the window and to work with a different form of logic. You're going, I think this is true, and I'm only going to look for things that prove it to be true.
You're literally
That's
like,
not how you find an answer to anything.
I'm operating outside of what you already think is true. You guys are in a snow globe and I'm out here. And that's why you can't tell me what makes sense and what doesn't, because you guys are still trapped in that snow globe. And it's like,
Well, and I think also like I wouldn't even completely place the blame on the people themselves. It's they might have shown, and I just watched this really great documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma, and they kind of talk about how the algorithms, a lot of these social media companies have basically caused all these social problems. And one of them being, you know, with something like Facebook, if you showed an interest in like anti-vax and you're following an anti-vax
They're going to
thread,
give you more.
then they give you like the algorithm says like, oh, well, you like this stuff, so you'll probably like this stuff. So these people that might be into like one conspiracy theory suddenly get thrown into
They get
every
fed all of
conspiracy
them.
theory.
It's true. And I do have to remind myself sometimes that, you know, social media apps and stuff are designed in a way that heighten a lot of stuff. I was thinking about it with Twitter, because I tweeted the other day that I was like, one of the top 3 responses to any tweet you click on, right? Especially if it's viral, any tweet or one of the top 3 responses is going to be one of the most insane things you've ever heard. And they always go to the top because everyone responds to that.
Yeah.
So like it'll just be like it'll be a video of a dog, and then like one of the top comments will be like, I think dogs should all be killed. And then everyone's like, why would you say that? Why would you? And then that gets to the top. So you're only seeing crazy people. We give the crazy people a spotlight constantly.
I think also it's important to remember, especially for things like Twitter, if you don't know the person that's tweeting and they're not a verified account, or you don't know them personally, don't believe that they're a real page, because there's other countries out there or other bad actors out there that are creating these bots that are very convincing.
Also, just a lot of trolls. Just a lot of people who are just saying crazy stuff.
well, and kids, like anybody could be anybody online, right? And there's not as much of an age gate anymore. So like, I think a lot of people are meeting each other online and like having these arguments, and they never should have met in the first place. There might be someone who's like 38 and lives in this part of the country, and then someone who's 11 and is fresh to Twitter and then is in this part of the country, and their text looks the same. Their speech sounds the same online because you're reading it in your head. So in your mind, you're arguing with like, I bet this lady has a PhD in science and I'm going to prove her wrong. In reality, you're just two normal ass people like just bickering back and forth, and you were never supposed to ever interact in your lives.
You can also, it's the equivalent now on Twitter with back when you were a kid, when you'd be like, yeah, well, my dad's an astronaut.
Yeah.
On Twitter, it's, oh yeah, I'm a scientist.
Yeah.
I'm a scientist. Oh yeah, I'm a cowboy astronaut.
Yeah.
Like you.
Oh, it's like, I forget who tweeted it, so I'm so sorry. If you find them, please give them credit. But it was something to the effect about like, me tweets about crows. Next response, hi, crow scientist here.
But I've literally seen that.
I have too.
And I'm just
It's
like,
real.
And I'll click on that page and I'm just like, you have nothing in your bio, nothing. I have zero proof that you are actually a, gynecologist or whatever you're claiming to be in this thread to have expertise. You can just say it. And I mean, I can't, because people see that I'm a professional idiot. But if you're just a random account, you could just be like, yeah, my dad's president of this country, or yeah, I'm an Olympic long jumper. Yeah, you just say it.
You just say it.
I've reported so many accounts.
Good.
Like not people that are coming for me, but literally just accounts that I see talking about like politics or whatever, and I go to their page and it was created in August of 2020.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you're a bot. Nobody's created a Twitter account within the last 2 months.
Yeah.
That's just like, what is this newfangled thing? No, off.
It's also a first name with 50 numbers after it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a
And
bot. and I'm
Do you ever notice
reporting
when like bots get something wrong? Like you'll say something like, the craziest thing about global warming is blah, blah, blah. And then you'll go off on a total tangent and not talk about global warming anymore. And they'll pop in and be like, global warming, nice job. QAnon is letting us know what's going on. And you're like, whoa, that wasn't actually the topic that was at hand.
Yeah.
You're responding. And
I get a lot of like weird responses, or I see a lot of weird responses that have nothing to do with the tweet they're responding
it's
to.
a botched bot.
Yeah.
So, guys,
Mhm.
we're
Yeah.
about 14 minutes into this podcast already. I
Oops.
don't think you introduced yourself, and I don't know if we've talked about what this podcast is.
We got too heated, bro.
We can just cut that all
Yeah, we
out.
got
This
heated.
is it's a heated subject.
Sorry.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the SmoshCast, everybody.
Hi.
I am your burpy host,
Nice.
Ian Hecox. Today I'm joined by Damien Haas.
Hi, that's me. I'm not Ian Hecox. I'm Damien Haas.
And what's your name?
Hi, I'm Damien Haas. I'm not Ian Hecox.
Okay.
That's going to confuse everybody. Why don't we just all be Ian Hecox?
Okay,
right.
we're all Ian Hecox here.
All right. I'm joined by Ian Hecox,
Hi.
Ian Haas, and Ian Top.
Nice.
Nice.
So today we thought we would talk about sort of the try not to laugh fails or things that went wrong and try not to laugh, and just pull back the cover on Try Not to Laugh. Give you guys a little behind the scenes look into what makes Try Not to Laugh work and what makes it doesn't work.
What makes it doesn't work?
Makes
No,
it
that makes
not
sense.
No, I'm
work.
doesn't.
No, I'm. And Fry, you've got that brain thing. I already did.
I don't get the
It's
reference.
Oh, it's Futurama.
Well, I got that it was Futurama.
He's like,
but,
and Fry, you've got that brain thing. I already did. It's just,
He
it's
just
just a
has-
non sequiter. It's
He
just
says
yeah.
incorrect
Oh, okay.
responses.
Oh,
Like,
okay, great. That is
It's
me.
because someone calls him stupid at one point, and he goes, "No, I'm doesn't."
Oh, really? That's me.
Anyways, so
He's really good at trying not to laugh
So-
too.
try not to laugh.
We're never gonna get.
Yeah,
to this.
our brains are fried. Haha, fried.
So
Futurama.
Well, I mean, I have some questions here.
Oh yeah,
From-
yeah.
From our lovely viewers and listeners.
Ooh.
So yeah, let's just jump right into that.
Ooh.
Ooh. This
Kevin
one
is
comes.
just shaking his head. He's so
Kevin's just like,
disappointed.
God damn it.
He's like rubbing his eyes like you'd rub your temples.
He's like,
Just
I have to
mm.
edit this.
All right, this one comes from Hopeful Smiles. They asked, do you have any bits that went in a completely different way than you expected when you first went out? Like the person's reaction, a prop not working, other fails, you changing what you're going to say to do last minute, etc. So do you have anything that you like went out with and it turned out not as you expected?
Actually, one just popped into mind. Shayne, you and I have a habit of like having the same idea out of nowhere at the same time with, from what I can tell, no actual like direct influence or correlation to what we were talking about. But, and so like sometimes there's moments where we're like backstage and you're like, do you want to go or can I go? Can I hop out? And it's like, yeah, go for it. And I remember there was one where like, I don't usually plan out my bits too much, but we had just been filming so much. I was like, I need to come out with something because I'm like running out of thoughts.
Yeah.
It's not fresh for me right now. And I had like planned on like this waiter taking the order of someone that they had freshly broken up with or whatever. It was like an ex. And then you go out and you do literally that bit. We hadn't talked about it. There was no way you could have known. You just had the same idea. It was parallel thinking. And that's happened a couple times now. So in that moment, you're like, do I try it? Can I make it different in the moment? And then it just ends up looking weird.
Yeah.
Because there was a time I remember that I was about to go out. We were both like kind of getting ready. And then I was like, I think I'm going to do a Riverdale bit. And you're like, I was just about to do a Riverdale bit. And I was like, okay, you do it then. And I was just like,
Well, yeah.
But that happens all the time where I'm like, what the f? Like,
That one, I think we both saw the same. I mean, this is still a very light way to get inspiration, but like we both saw a Letterman jacket
Yeah.
backstage in a football, and I was like, okay, we can do a Riverdale thing.
Yeah,
So-
it's still funny. Like,
Well, and half of pop culture is Riverdale, as
Yeah,
everyone
that's
true.
knows.
I'm waiting for the day that me and Olivia have the same idea.
Well, you're
That'll
not gonna do
never, it's impossible. I don't think I could ever guess what Olivia's thinking. I'm sure you know someone who's super forgetful and constantly losing their things. I, for one, am someone who's constantly losing my stuff. The average person actually wastes about 15 minutes a day just searching for something that they've misplaced. But luckily, there is a product that makes losing your things nearly impossible. It is the Tile. Tile is a Bluetooth device that helps you keep track of your things. Tile comes in sleek, compact sizes that can fit on your car keys or in your wallet just like a credit card. Here's how it works. You download the free Tile app on your phone. When you lose something, you press Find on the app, and the Tile will make a noise. It'll alert you where that thing is. But what's also great is if you lose your phone, you can use the Tile to ping where your phone is at, even if your phone is on silent. Best of all, Tile comes in fun limited edition designs and prints. For instance, there's a hot dog print right now. Pretty sweet. Kevin was just talking about this. He's used Tile for a long time and says it's been very helpful. Get a limited edition Tile for yourself and everyone who's always losing their stuff. Go to tile.com/Smosh to shop the limited edition collection right now. That's TILE.com/Smosh. These fun, one-of-a-kind exclusive designs go fast. Get yours at tile.com/Smosh.
I'm trying to think of like a bit that went the wrong way. I mean, like I would say that pretty much all my bits are like half baked because I don't pre-plan a lot of bits. I usually just kind of like look at what's there and then go out, and I don't fully commit.
That makes sense.
When we did Try Not to Laugh Live, when we did the little tour in Portland, I had a plan to do the singing Big Mouth Billy Bass. But he sings about World War II.
Fun.
In the tune of
Kids will love that.
In the tune of
Fortunate
Two
Son.
Princes.
No, in
We had some different ideas.
Come on, baby.
Do the
Yeah,
the
do the
twist.
twist. Yeah, do the twist. And the tune of Do the Twist.
Cool.
But then like because you have a whole audience there, I was like, yeah, he's history class was banned or something. I had some like weird premise that I set it up with. I was like, history class was banned, but they will allow you to learn from a singing Big Mouth Billy Bass. And I was like, now he's gonna do World War II. And everyone was like, oh, and I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
The live audience hits different. For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it was trippy.
And then so I basically ended the song with mentioning that Hitler killed himself. The audience didn't love that.
Sure.
And it was always kind of my opinion that like suicide isn't funny unless you're talking about Hitler's suicide. Then you can joke about that because that guy.
Well, definitely not a fan of Hitler.
Yeah.
I think
I'm gonna go on record here.
Let me just get it out
not
there.
a good guy.
Wow, you're getting really political
You
here.
know, sorry, I'm taking big stances today. Well, no, I think that's actually a fair point that is sort of an overarching thing where like we live in a time where people are becoming more and more like socially aware. And with that, we're all sort of deciding all at once as a society, whether it's in the special bubble on Twitter or whatever, like what is cool and what is not. So like I remember like when I was younger, I probably, would have had that mindset too of like, well, no, I'm talking about Hitler doing it. That's fine, right? Because we don't even like Hitler. But now it's more about like, well, the topic in general is the thing. So like it's interesting being on a comedy channel during this time and just always listening and being like, oh, got it. I'll know that for next time.
I think so. I think it was just a little too shocking for the audience.
Sure.
Because I was like, then he killed himself, and people were very shocked, but I was like, but them.
I think also, I think a lot of those audiences, when we were doing it live, they were just very engaged. So they were just having big reactions to everything. So I don't think it was always negative. It was just like, oh, what? Oh.
Actually, that is way better than silence.
It was definitely, it was definitely.
We never had silent audiences.
No, it was definitely like just more of like an exclamation than like laugh out loud laughter.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that hit different.
Yeah.
I was like, well, it's a good thing I didn't mention that he also like had his dogs killed at the same time.
It's probably a good time you didn't bring.
Yeah, it's probably not a thing.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's crazy. Why the dogs?
I don't know. Are we surprised by Hitler at this point? Like,
you know what? That's the straw.
You know what? I can't believe this guy canceled.
Because I like did a little research. I wanted to make sure, and I was like, he did what? What do the dogs have to do with it? Like,
what did anyone he killed have to do with it?
Although I'm pretty sure those dogs are probably racist as.
That's probably
So
true.
it's probably, I mean,
My craziest try not to laugh is probably. Oh my God. I can't tell you the amount of times I've gone out and I have a sort of idea and I sort of do it. And then that person doesn't laugh. And then I'm there and I'm like, well, now I got to figure this out. Honestly, like one that you'd think it was part of the bit, but when I did Clarissa, which is where basically like a lot of times on set, when we're filming Try Not to Laugh, I'll see a silly outfit. I'll just put it on and know that looks silly. And that's like part of it. I'm just like, this just looks silly on me. And then I'll go out, do like some sort of character. So I went out and I just did Clarissa, who's this girl who just occasionally just yells. And, but after a bit, I think it was doing it to Courtney, she didn't quite laugh. So I just stopped and I just started laughing. And I was like, what? I was genuinely being like, what are we doing? Like, I've done that a couple times where I'm just like, what is this?
yeah.
What is society?
What the hell
Having like a
are
literal
we
breakdown.
doing?
But that's the beauty of Try Not to Laugh is like you can easily pivot to whatever you want if it's not hitting right. I think I tend to just like choke, but sometimes the choking kind of pays off. Like sometimes that'll get a laugh because you're like, well, that didn't work. You know.
Well, I think we also got in a habit of so much success during Try Not to Laugh. I'm not talking like clicks and views and all that stuff. I mean like with each other. Like we will mostly laugh for each other because we've like definitely gelled and found each other's style and all that stuff. But I think like failure is part of it. It's fun. You know, I especially come from like a background where I was exclusively Smosh games. It's fun to watch people fail sometimes, especially if you can brush it off. That's why we do punishment videos. So I think like, you know, for you to choke and be able to play it off and still have it be good, that's in my mind kind of the ideal. And I'd kind of like to do that more.
Yeah, I mean, you're not always going to know what's going to be hilarious without, you know, sometimes pushing those boundaries, like making a joke about Hitler.
Right.
So that's what I was doing, guys. I was trying to nobody's ever made a joke about Hitler before.
That's true.
So I was really pushing those
I'd never heard one.
boundaries.
I never even heard of this dude.
But yeah, I yes, Kevin.
It's really fun for me having Kevin in this like glass window. We've got sort of like a new setup now, and I can just see Kevin at all times, and I keep making eye contact, basically saying, "Edit this, mother goose."
But I mean, like the great thing is like we do have the ability to just like go out there and just do whatever. And if it's truly bad, like truly not funny, then we just cut it out of the video.
I mean, I feel like part of the point of Try Not to Laugh is to fail. Like if you're only succeeding at a challenge,
That's
it's no
what I'm
longer
saying.
a challenge.
Right.
It's you got to have them to equal it out. And so, you know, sometimes it happens. And you know, there's definitely sometimes with jokes where someone's making a joke and I'm like, this is funny, but I'm just not laughing right now. I'm just not laughing at it. And I'll sometimes be like, you know what? I could laugh. I could laugh at this. It's a funny joke, but I'm just like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Because you know, I can't laugh at every joke.
Right.
I want to. I laugh at most things.
Gus.
Honestly, Gus, man. I now plan my jokes around Gus not laughing now. Like that's why my last one that I did went for 5 minutes was because I was like, I know I can do this. Like I know I'll have 5 minutes because he won't laugh, and he was damn close.
Yeah.
I mean,
He was dying. He was literally
laughing,
red.
but his mouth was closed.
Like sure,
that's a.
but I look at this point. I'm like, that's the bar he set. I'm like, I
Okay.
gotta. If he like makes it easy, if I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's not a
At
true
this point
victory.
now. At this point now, I need to make a joke that pries his mouth open, and you know he spits water everywhere.
You're literally like an anime rival at this point. Where
Yes.
like you're Bakugo being like, "Get back up! We're not done fighting.
Yeah.
I don't want to win this way." Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That is definitely where I'm at. I don't want him to give it to me.
yeah.
I want to friggin' earn it.
He was laughing.
Sure, but it's
But you
possible.
want-
It's possible to make him spit out water with him trying his damnedest to keep it in.
You're gonna
We'll
do it.
see.
I think I am
We'll
going to do it.
see.
The next time, you know, obviously we'll see when we can get him in. There's a lot of, you know, regulations and stuff right now.
Mhm.
But the next time we're able to get him in, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to go extra hard.
I believe in you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's we're still figuring out how we could possibly get guests on our shows. It's much harder now because we're trying to be as safe as possible. So that's why, you guys are not seeing some of the collabs. There's a few people that I really do want to collab with, and we just got to figure it out because I got some other people in mind that would be very funny.
I have a thought of one more like quote unquote fail for myself. It's not that it doesn't get, recognized in comments or anything. It's not that it doesn't do okay for people, but personally it's never been like I've had the same joke for it over and over again. And it's never quite been that good, but I keep doing it. It's the Burger Man. It's the Burger Man. I like the name, the Burger Man. I think that's fun. And I like walking out and saying, I'm the Burger Man. And it's dumb and it makes me chuckle. But for me to truly memorize a full-ass poem and the whole joke is me saying, no, I wrote this famous poem and then doing it, it's not really that funny to me. I would much rather start a scene with I'm the Boogeyman and then make a character based on that who doesn't have to do poetry. I feel like I got in a rut for a long time, I think.
A Boogerman rut?
Try not to laugh rut in general because we do so many of them and I don't know. I feel like a lot of the props I've seen over and over too, but I just sort of lost what was, because it became a little less special for me because I was in every single one of them. Whereas before it would be like a rare treat when I was. Now there's been a little bit of balance where like I'm not in every one and I feel like so refreshed. Like there's a few that we just filmed. I don't know what's going to be out by the time we, put this out, but like I felt better about the last couple rounds I did than I've felt in like a year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Great. So I feel pretty stoked.
Yeah, well, I think we are shooting. It feels like we're shooting less of them now. I mean, we have the same amount coming out.
I think also like with like the format changes as well, like with some of them being like gauntlet style. Then we did like the duel.
That helps. It definitely helps.
We've also had more players added into the mix. Like Jackie,
that's true.
More people. There was a phase, and Damien, this was when you were kind of like, you would be in a couple of them, but there was a phase early on, like when we're doing like Try Not to Laugh number 7, right? Around that time, we would shoot 4 in a row.
That's too much.
And that's why, a lot of them just didn't make the cut, which sucks that it's like, so we wasted our time. But if you watch some of those old ones, and I think there's a charm to it, but they are pure chaos. Like they're not organized jokes. It's us coming out and nobody has any idea what they're doing. And it's us, it's mostly inside jokes. It's a ton of inside jokes back then.
Because they're literally doing whatever they can to make that person laugh rather than just come out with something funny.
And it benefited back then from like, it was so new for all of us. We had all these jokes. I mean, that's before You're My Favorite Pizza Place or, the Dumpster Wizard and all these bits that we would do. So everything's new. Yeah, I feel like it comes and goes. Like I'll have a week where I'm like, oh yeah, I've got it figured out. And then I'll have weeks where I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I'm excited to be able to talk about this next batch that we filmed because I don't really want to give away what we did special about it necessarily, but what we did special about the one that I'm talking about has really made things fresh for me again, which I'm very excited. Very excited.
I felt okay. About myself.
Okay.
But I did think everyone else was really on fire.
I think Try Not to Laugh, we also have a tendency to be hard on ourselves.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So I was like, you did great. I was a dumpster fire.
We all do that. And also, like, they always come out funnier than a lot of times in person. It just feels like, oh, I don't know how that went.
Yeah,
later on you watch it. And you're
a little twinge of editing certainly helps things along.
Helps the timing sometimes.
And also you're just looking at it from an outside perspective because when you're in it, doing it, you're very self-critical.
Sure.
So it's less pressure. This one's a quick one. Andrea Amp 01 asked, why don't you use water anymore? Why harmonicas? I think it's more genuine with water. Yeah, we agree.
Yeah, we would be using water.
That would be the ideal.
Yeah, we're trying to be as safe as possible, and we figure spraying water all over people and
surfaces,
a very small room and surfaces, probably not the best thing to do right now.
I don't know if you heard, but you're going to want to sit down for this. There's a global pandemic and germs are very dangerous.
That question came from New Zealand, so she's like, wait.
Oh, she's doing great.
You still got it there? Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's awesome here.
Well, how do you guys feel about the harmonicas right now?
I feel like it's a good compromise, though. I mean, it's not ideal. It's much more funny and visceral to have that spray of water, but I think in terms of substitutes, like it's not something I would have thought of, and I think it's great.
I think the harmonicas are it's harder to contain a laugh.
Mm,
Like, because
mhm.
you have your mouth is open, you have the harmonica in your mouth, so you can't pull. I'd be curious if Gus Johnson had to use a harmonica. I think he would
Yeah.
laugh.
Yeah.
It's actually more difficult for me to laugh with a harmonica.
Really?
Because I have TMJ, and so like trying
Oh.
to fit my mouth over a harmonica and sort of keep it there is not comfortable in general. So like
You
I'm
gotta
kind of
get
hurting.
Makes sense.
You got to get like the musician
Yeah.
like, harmonica holder.
Wait,
so
why
you
don't we
to-
have that?
Wait,
Why is
we-
that already not a?
We should. Yeah,
that's
we should
already
get those.
a thing we should
Oh
do.
my gosh, just freaking just bear it for 5 minutes.
Do you see what we do? Do you
Do you
what we
see?
put up
Do you
with
see
this?
who this is?
I have a condition.
These freaking
sir.
guys.
Wow.
Yeah, no, TMJ sucks.
It does.
I'm sorry about
Stands
that.
for totally messed up jaw.
Dude, for reals.
It sucks.
Frills. Have you tried taking it off? Unplugging it and replugging it back in?
I did have a call in to Spectrum Internet about my jaw.
Okay.
They are gonna have a person
Technician
come out in a few months.
And then f it up real bad.
They'll give you an 8-hour
Punch
window.
me in the neck.
They'll give you an 8-hour window for tomorrow and come next year.
That's true. Yeah.
Damn.
Shout out to all internet
Roast.
companies.
Yeah,
Roast.
basically any carrier.
I just picked
Ever.
one, but shout out to.
It's
Actually, I've
any.
had I had probably my best experience with the Spectrum. Hit me up, Spectrum.
Yeah, so we agree. It'd be fun to get back to water, but
One day.
right now we got to look out for each other. We gotta make sure we're all being as safe as possible because we want to keep trying not to laugh.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys.
Oh,
Yes, Evan.
What's up?
What would you say, hypothetically speaking, what would you use instead of a harmonica?
Oh.
Kazoo.
Milk.
I want to use the big mouth thing.
Can you imagine?
Milk?
Try not to laugh with milk instead of water.
Can we combine your ideas? It's
milk
the big
through
mouth
a
thing.
harmonica?
No, it's the big mouth thing with milk. You're just like,
You're like, "Oh," yeah, just choking.
Uh,
How about bananas? Just chewed up
just like
bananas
shoot it. Oh,
in your mouth. So when you laugh, it just goes.
I'll just have my saxophone.
Yes, please. Can we just do a sax episode?
You say a joke, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
we can
Oh,
have
sh-
a little
can't.
bit.
Okay.
It was off key enough, Kevin.
Yeah, it was.
We can do it.
Okay,
Well,
all right.
everybody sing off key from now on. We'll try it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was actually too good. Don't do that again.
Oh, damn it.
Can you play that riff?
I did. I booked a commercial playing that riff.
What?
So I had a Subway commercial that I booked, and I went in, and they're like, yeah, we need a person who can play an instrument, like a saxophone or something. So I brought in my saxophone, and they're like, yeah, play a little bit, and I played that. I played Whisper of the Heart.
Wow.
This was years ago. I cannot play
I knew
that
about
well.
that Subway commercial. I don't know how I ever didn't know about the saxophone.
So I played the saxophone, and they were like, awesome, and I played that bit, and they're like, that's hilarious. And they're like, yeah, we'll let you know. And then I booked it. And then in the commercial, I played a Subway employee who worked at the food station. So it had absolutely nothing to do with instruments.
that happens a lot.
But it's
It
about-
happens all the time with commercials.
But it's about the feeling.
Yeah.
They wanted a man that knew how to handle a wind instrument. You know,
brass.
That's brass.
brass. You know what I mean?
Right.
Brass.
I didn't know what you meant. It was brass.
No, we're very
It's
confused.
technically a wind instrument. You know, you're blowing wind through it.
I don't
Sure.
think that's.
But
it's called woodwind.
Yeah, well,
It's not made of wood.
No, I took that back. I was like, wind instrument,
Ah, yes, a brass wind.
brass wind.
I actually don't know the terminology of a lot
Trust
of
me,
them.
I was last seat trumpet in 8th grade. I know what
Nice.
I'm talking about.
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah, dude.
yeah.
I
Well,
would-
okay.
I would say kazoo would be easier to hold, or we can combine our technology with Smosh Games technology and do one of those facial tracker things. And if it's like if your cheekbones get to a certain level, the computer
Oh.
sends an electric shock to everyone in the room.
Okay. Yeah.
Next question.
Do you think we should become what do they call those? The anime people, V streamers?
Vocaloids?
No.
What?
No. They call it something else. Because I know like Pokemon just got a bunch of for it.
People really like.
You know when you
Yeah,
could
the
do they have like a tracker thing where you could turn yourself into like an anime waifu,
Oh,
and you could just stream as an anime waifu.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
They're called, I think they're virtual anime YouTubers.
Yeah,
or
they call them like
streamers.
VTubers or
That's
something
awesome.
like that.
well, that's good for them.
So I think we should become VTubers
Okay.
for our
Okay.
next our next Try Not to Laugh.
Going back really quick,
Yes.
I don't keep up to date with a lot of these things.
Sure.
I know who these people are. The only thing I've ever heard about Pokimane is people being mad at her, and then I find out why they're mad at her, and I'm like, wait, she did nothing? Like
People, it's
like,
called being a female in the gaming space. People, I'm serious.
Yeah.
People are just ass to you.
Because it'll literally be like, she streamed for an hour yesterday, and I'm like, it's just like, oh, she has a boyfriend. I'm like, that's the what?
You're
I was
mad
like,
that
you're
it
mad at her
wasn't
for
you?
doing things.
Well, and this is the thing. Like, we say that, and then we'll get a comment in this video. They go, you don't understand what she's done. She's done this and this and this, and it's like,
I don't have time.
My guy, you need a hobby.
I don't have time. I don't have time to be pissed off at someone I've never
there's
met
a
before.
huge
Like,
Well,
bro, there's a virus trying to kill us all.
yeah.
I don't have
And
time to be mad at Pokimane.
I mean, there's a lot of people, probably mostly men, that are angry at female streamers because they think that the only thing they have to offer is their good looks, and they're angry because other people want to give them money. Just because she's just like a girl, and you just want to give her money because she's a girl. And it's like, no, I mean, they want to watch somebody. They want to support them.
I've been seeing TikToks recently doing a bunch of that stuff. There's that girl, Bella, whatever, who does like the face tracking, like camera tracking to her face thing to like certain songs. And she's doing this and getting millions and millions of views. And it's like, that's great. If someone wants to watch that, if 1 million people want to watch that, that's fantastic. But I'm starting to get these like angry young men that are like, I put hours of work into my video, and all she does is do this and get millions of views. So here's my video, and I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, that was mediocre." And you're also not charismatic at all. Like, there is an it factor.
There's
sometimes.
also a bunch
it's
of
not just being pretty. It's like knowing how to use the algorithm, work the system,
and
like,
also there's that girl doing her thing. There's also a bunch of dudes who are getting away with making
100%.
easy ass dumb content.
Yeah.
But you're not mad at them. Like, I don't know. Every time
there's a bunch of mediocre white dudes that have got.
I don't know. Whenever I see people yelling about something dumb like that, where they're mad. It's one thing to be mad on the internet about politics or the climate or whatever, but it's like when they're mad about that and they're very like they're screaming about Pokimane because she dressed a certain way. I'm like, bro, log off and go watch a movie. Like, go do something nice, man. Why are you doing this?
There is a life hack for that. In most windows of like a computer screen, if you have like Pokemon on there and you don't like it, if you look in the top right, you click that X and then you go yourself, because
I think that's what always fascinates me about hate comments is that I'm just like, you don't have to watch this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a thing that's been said a million times for decades. It's just like, oh, well, if you don't like it, don't watch it. But honestly, for real, hold on. I do actually want to say this because this is true that, people like, there's a lot of YouTubers out there who are actually toxic. They stay alive because we hate watch them.
Yes.
And that's their whole business plan.
Yeah.
So if you're hate watching someone, know that you are only helping them.
Also, if somebody's giving money to Pokimane, big deal. It's not your money.
Yeah, they're not going to give it to you instead.
She's not scamming them. She's giving them what they want.
Yeah. And
if she wasn't, they wouldn't be giving her money.
Yeah.
People give money to dumb things all the time.
Yeah, come on. People go to friggin' strip clubs. All right, that's a waste of money. In a way. I mean, look, people like strip clubs. Nothing wrong with that. But do I go sit outside a strip club and yell at people for throwing their money at a stripper?
Not anymore, because I'm not allowed on the property.
Look, I mean, I'm not comparing Pokimane to a stripper.
I think
I think there's nothing wrong with being a stripper as well. Being a sex worker is
you're covering all your bases.
That's fine.
But I'm not.
But
what we're saying is we're not mad. I don't care how people legally spend their money.
Yeah.
No,
I don't even.
It's not. A
I was gonna say I don't even care if someone's. I don't know.
You don't have to.
Okay.
You want me to redact that one, Shayne?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We can cut out most of this.
We don't need this podcast.
We don't.
We really don't.
All right, we got worked up on.
We're getting worked up.
I think we're just mad.
Also,
I think everyone's mad.
Also, the funny thing. All right, one more thing about Pokimane, then I'm gonna shut the up.
Nice. Welcome to the Pokimane cast.
all these people who I'm assuming is like young guys that have never woken up next to another female before share this no makeup picture of Pokimane like they're checkmating her. They're like, oh, but look at her without makeup. She's ugly. She looks like a human being without makeup.
It's just distorted expectations, distorted like sort of ideas of what reality should be. It's all distortion there. It's all a mess. And you also don't know that person and they also don't know you anything. Every single part of the interaction is distorted.
Yeah.
So
Damien and I did a Twitch awards stream and
was Pokemon there?
So Pokemon was in it. So she introduced an award and it comes back to us and I just turned to Damien and I just go, dude, I can't believe that was Pokemon. we were just out of it.
Funny.
We lost our minds.
Well, we had a full filming week, and we just started Twitch, and it was like that's an additional extra thing on top of our normal Twitch schedule. And like we were hungry, and they like fed us these big sandwiches, which were nice. But then you get all sleepy and weird, and then you're given the power
lost
of
our minds.
being live.
That was Pokemon.
Dude,
can't believe that was Pokemon. We were doing our bug snacks joke came from that Twitch stream.
I had been talking about bug snacks for like a couple months, and then all of a sudden it was like a nominee for many of those things. So I was like, dude, I'm going to talk about bug snacks the whole time.
Oh yeah.
And
wait, bug snacks got nominated?
Yes, the trailer got nominated
for cutest game or whatever.
I want them to go hardcore like that with like the Academy Awards, like, and the winner of Best Picture is the trailer for Dune.
Yeah.
Is the thing that Steve just started writing. Stand up, Steve. He's like, I just started writing it.
Holy crap.
It'll be good, I promise.
Whoa.
This one comes from Saturn Alicis. They asked, I remember watching a Valley Folk vlog and they showed you guys warming up for Try Not to Laugh. What kinds of acting/improv warm-ups do you usually do? What's the warm-up process like? We mainly just do warm-ups for Try Not to Laugh, right?
Yeah. I think it's Saturnalysis. I just thought about the name.
Saturnalysis.
That makes one. I just thought about it.
Saturnalysis. Yes.
Yeah, we usually only warm up for Try Not to Laugh. I think we've just gotten into a good place lately where we're playing more like fun, thinky-based games. I'm personally in a place where, as someone who's been doing improv for almost, I don't know, like a decade and a half now, maybe more, I can't play another round of Zip Zap Zop and feel like it will ever benefit me or anyone else ever again.
Yeah, I never really saw the appeal of Zip Zap Zop.
The point of those is just to get the energy up.
What is Zip Zap Zop?
So Zip Zap Zop, for those of you who don't know, you stand in a circle and you make eye contact with someone and point, and the pattern is always zip, zap, zop. So if I said zip and looked at Ian and pointed, he would then say
Zap
and send it over to maybe Shayne.
And it goes zop.
And send it back to me, or I can send it across the circle. And so it's you try to go faster and zip, zap, zop, zip, zap, zop, zip, zap, zop. And it just sort of gets you thinking on your feet.
And also it's supposed to connect you because you can be the funniest person in the world if you're not on the same page and connecting with your other
you have to be
performers.
Present. You have to be present.
You're not going to do anything. You're just going to be saying your own jokes. You'll be doing stand-up next to other people.
That's true.
And that's kind of like the most important, I mean, aside from the holy shit, now I forgot the phrase, but just say yes. What's the phrase?
Yes and.
Yes and. Sorry. That's one of the most important things about improv is just being present and listening to other people and watching what's going on rather than thinking in your own head, like, what am I going to do? That's the funniest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, some of the best improvisers I've seen in classes aren't funny people. They're just so like, they're great listeners and they just play along with everybody else that it just works.
Totally.
Because sometimes there's nothing funnier than just someone accepting a crazy thing.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, you're the president. They're like, I know. And it's just like, that's funny. That's already funny.
Yeah.
And I think that's why improv is so important for just like everyday life.
Oh, totally.
Like in conversation, I feel like conversations are so much better when you kind of follow the core tenets of improv where you're not thinking like, what am I going to say? When is my chance to talk? When is my chance to talk? You're listening to the person, taking it in, and then responding.
It's actually why in a lot of improv classes, stand-up comedians, and there's a lot of them that are in the improv classes I've taken, sometimes they're the worst.
Yeah.
Because they're so used to just doing their own thing, being in control of it, and they try to control it, and they try to just do their own storyline, and they don't work with anyone else, so the scene gets stalled.
That's true. One of my favorite warm-up things that we started doing not too long ago that I knew from like a while back and was always my favorite is called either 7 Things or 5 Things. And I love this one because for me, it actually does get up energy. Zip, zap, zop, that kind of stuff. Whoosh, bong, another similar game. It can all be a little bit tiring. But 5 Things is basically like everybody has their own different rhythm, but usually we go like, whoa, and then you'd start off, I'd be like, Shayne, give me 5 cereals that don't exist yet, and you'd
And
have to like
everyone's kinda
fire
like-
them off as
and everyone's kinda like
slapping your
keeping,
leg.
like,
Cilios.
keeping, like, a beat.
1,
Cardigan flakes.
2,
Glasses.
3,
Olivia.
4,
And Cereal the Cereal by Cereal.
5. 5 things.
And then I'd be
Whoa.
like, Ian.
Yeah.
Give me 5 superheroes who can defeat Superman.
Oh, Big Bongus.
1,
The Tweaker.
2,
Fireman.
3,
Sun God. The Raw.
4,
And climate change.
5.
5 things.
Whoa. Damien, give
Tell me.
me 5 pairs of jeans that you can't wear in Afghanistan.
Fun washed denim.
1,
The Manteca blend from Lucky Brand.
2,
Jean shorts, but it's only for your top, so it's like a Tim vest.
3,
3,
Jean blindfold, cause watch where you're going, silly. You're driving in Afghanistan.
4,
And Mario's favorite, denim.
5.
Denim.
5 things.
Nice.
It
Yeah.
just gets you out of your brain because there's no way. And we do it faster, louder, more energetic, but we're obviously not in the space for that. But it gets you out of your head because like I can't know what weird prompt Ian was going to give me. 5 jeans you can't wear in Afghanistan. Okay, great. Nothing I can plan. So
Yeah.
That makes me think I want to get Tim a denim vest.
ask Matthew Scott.
Ooh,
I'm sure
that's
he has
true.
some spares.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's also just like a very like uniting kind of game because
Oh,
everyone's
definitely.
You're hyping
everyone's
each
like
other up.
laughing at your
Yes.
things
Yeah.
and
And
It's very positive.
what's nice about that game is you can just say gibberish.
Yep.
Literally, sometimes people have just been like, "Buh," it's like that counts.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, big,
Yeah.
big bongus. I think you said like
Big
yeah.
bongus.
Yeah. And I like that one too. I have a vendetta sort of against the beginner improv games now. Not if you are a beginner and not if you have, even if you've been doing it for like 5 years, like you're going to play those same games over and over. That's fine.
Mhm.
But it sort of feels like, I don't know, your favorite hobby is weightlifting and you do it every day, but you show up every class and someone goes, all right, so let me tell you how to warm up and lift weights properly. And you're going to go like, well, gosh, eventually I know that. Can I get into it a little sooner? Like,
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, the warm-ups, I think that's something that we started doing, because we didn't start off doing that with Try Not to Laugh. But that was something where it was just like, because we would come into the room and it'd be like, let's get to it. And like the energy would just be kind of low. And we realized like, oh no, like the warm-up makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Because like no matter what we went through that day or like how deep into the week of shooting we are and like no matter how tired we are, the warm-up kind of gets everyone like hyped up and also on the same level.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're already starting from a base of like supporting each other.
Mhm.
Like,
Who
yeah.
leads the warm-ups?
Usually Garrett
Usually
leads the
Garrett.
warm-up because Garrett, our lovely producer who you guys may see in Eat It or Yeet It, is kind of like he's an improv veteran. So he's deep into the improv world. So he's usually leading the charge.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's always a fun time.
Nice.
It's a very nice time.
Real quick, I want to get through this last question before we close out. Adya Aurora said, I need you to explain me Olivia's humor. I love her. I think I'm close, but I need closer observations.
Look, I have been very vocal about this for many years. I was in that first Try Not to Laugh with the gang with Olivia, and started off. It's been there. Olivia making 0 sense. I don't know how she comes up with the things she comes up with because they're beyond just weird. They're just. I'm like, there's connections there, but I'm like, where did you come up with this with anti-Rogaine commercial? Where did you come up with that? I don't know. And Olivia is like that all the time. I mean, she really will sometimes just say something and I'm like, where did that thought come from? And it's a lot of times like the I don't know. I'm fascinated by it and it's hilarious and it's gotten better. Like she has honed her craft, but she has stayed in this very weird realm of it is the most confusing thing.
Yeah.
But also very funny.
I think she's super funny and I really respect her style. I think something interesting about comedy in a way that you can really get to people is making them uncomfortable. And I don't mean in the sense of like, ooh, you said something kind of like, it's more like you're in a space of not being sure what to expect and sometimes not even being sure of if the bit has started yet. And you basically, in a weird way, get everybody in the room on the same page at that same moment because everyone's going, what are you thinking? And you're in her world now. Mm-hmm. And she's not going to stick to the 30-second time limit, and that's okay. We know what to expect. And I think it's so funny. You get so many moments of gold, and sometimes it may not like come to fruition like she was hoping, but I think 9 times out of 10, you end up with this big nugget of gold or at least a good experience from it. And you know, if you don't get it, that's okay. But like Adult Swim is funny as hell, but not everybody likes Adult Swim. And it's weird and off kilter and doesn't make sense. And there's shows where you're like, I didn't understand a word of that. And like, yeah, but there's a whole audience for it. So that's my thought.
Yeah, that's a good point. I could never ever predict where her jokes are going.
And
I'll never, and usually I can kind of get a sense of like what a punchline will be.
Mm-hmm.
But like, okay, I see what you're doing with this. Olivia, I never have any idea. I mean, the anti-Rogaine commercial is a perfect example because she comes out, it seems, I was like, okay, she's dressed as an old man. What's that? And then Tim comes out and yells, give me all your money.
Mm-hmm.
None of us would have ever put money on that.
No.
Never.
Nope. That's great.
I think the weird thing is like because she's established herself as this like weird wild card, I think we've sort of encouraged that sort of behavior from her because I think Olivia is just naturally funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's not just like weird funny. Like that's the thing that we've encouraged for her on Try Not to Laugh. But Olivia she's just naturally funny on her own.
Yes.
Even outside of just doing the weird stuff. So it's funny. I would like to see her show some of that and Try Not to Laugh. Sometimes it's a little harder because just the on the cuff nature of things tends to favor the random.
Yeah.
But I know Olivia has it. I know we can see more of that. We do often encourage the weird side of Olivia, which can't be matched.
No, I've never met anyone who can tell jokes like she does.
Well, because like not only that, like think about those moments sometimes where like she'll come out on stage to start a bit and there might be silence for 10 seconds and you're already in that space of like, what is about to, I'm not sure, what's going on? That's the like level of like getting you on her plane that I'm talking about. Whereas I think if I were to walk out and not move and stand there for 10 seconds of silence, you would not get the same feeling whatsoever.
Right.
And that's masterful. There's something about that where you're like, you are doing something and you know what you're doing. Like, I
you know what it
respect
is? It's pure chaos, but she's so focused on it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like a lot of times when it's chaos, it's because that person doesn't even know what they're doing.
Sure.
But it's chaotic, but she is honed in.
She's a chaotic good.
She's just
Chaotic neutral.
Focused chaos.
Yeah.
Focused chaos.
Yeah. I like it.
So I hope that gave you guys a little insight into the wonderful world of Try Not to Laugh. Of Disney, yeah.
Yeah, the wonderful world of Disney.
This is where we announce we got bought out by Disney.
Are we part of everyone?
Yeah. You'll be seeing us in The Mandalorian 2.
Wow,
this sounds like a dope deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you guys, I negotiated a big part for myself. And you guys are going to be Stormtrooper 1 and 2.
Nice. We're 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Hell
it's
yeah.
Special.
That's a
kind
promotion.
No, but it's like there's like 1,000 and you guys are like in the back.
Well, that's because we're the leaders often stay in the back. You know, they'll probably get a good the panning shot will definitely show us, like the sweeping shot over
Panning
all
Tatum.
Panning Tatum.
Yeah, there's a lot of smoke.
Thanks for that.
There's a lot of smoke in the scene though, so
that's fine. I mean, we're wearing white; it'll stand out. You'll see.
It's white smoke.
Oh,
yeah. It's like
then I'll bleed on my.
So there's a new pope.
Outfit.
All right, now it's time for shoot, dude.
Shoot, dude.
Shoot, dude.
Shoot, dude.
Shoot, dude.
Shoot, dude.
Shoot, dude. Shoot, dude. Shoot, dude. Shoot, dude.
Shoot, dude.
Shart. I think I just sharted.
Oh, I just shooted my dude.
I appear to have shooted my dude. Darkness am strongest than shoot, dude. Sora.
All right.
One of these times, one of these shoot dudes is going to be so bad, it's going to end and we're going to go, motherfucker.
Well, this one comes from Rebecca. This was in 2014, and I was going home for the holidays on a 4 to 5 hour flight out of San Diego. The plane had just taken off and finally settled in the air, and I was kind of thirsty, so I grabbed my water bottle from my backpack. It's the hard plastic kind where you click a button and the straw will pop up. Keep in mind, I'm in row 26 and in the window seat, so it's pretty cramped, and I'm flying alone, so everyone is a stranger. I clicked the button as I always did, and to my horror, the water shot out of the straw in a single stream for what felt like an eternity. I immediately closed it, but it was too late. The water went straight up into the overhead dashboard, spread, and then rained over myself, the person to my left, the 2 people in the row ahead of me, and the 2 people behind me for a few seconds. I was mortified.
Shoot, dude.
Hold on.
Oh,
Not done. Once it stopped, I used the button to call the flight attendant over to ask for tons of napkins. I handed them out to everyone around me and apologized profusely before I dried the dashboard and dealt with myself. The rest of the 4-hour flight, I had to sit in silence in my own embarrassment while my pants, seat, hair, and back of my jacket were really wet. Now, whenever I fly, I refuse to take a sip of any water bottle I bring without releasing some pressure first by twisting the lid. I hope this story can save you all from making the same mistake I did.
Shoot, dude.
Shoot,
Shoot, dude.
Oh, shoot.
That's
I
pretty
mean,
bad.
can you even bring those anymore? Like, how long ago was that? Like, I don't think you can bring your own water
Straw?
bottle.
Yeah, you
babies.
can. No, you have to empty it when you go
just
through
can't have it-
security,
you
but
just
then
can't
you
have
fill
liquid.
it.
Oh, I
You
didn't
can
know
have a
that.
water. You can have a water bottle.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't know that even a little bit.
There's even a lot of airports that now have like the water bottle filling stations.
Yeah, I've seen those.
And, you, like, and it has like a little counter of like, you
Yeah,
saved this
but
much
it's
plastic.
that's
it's
pretty rough.
probably snake water. You don't want to use that.
Yeah,
You're probably using snake water.
That's pretty rough. That's a
It's-
good shoot, dude.
that's pretty good
That's,
shoot.
I
dude.
mean, I'm curious what the other people's reactions were.
I'm
Yeah.
sure there was at least a couple people that were like, you know, it's
I'd say-
pretty rare that everybody would be super understanding.
Depending on the boomerness of like what the boomer quotient was
the
around,
boomosity,
like I would say that there was probably some
the boomitude.
the boomer.
Depending on the boomitude of the region,
Boomertude.
Yeah.
me and you and the boomitude.
Yeah,
The boomertude.
I like that.
It is fascinating how on every plane there is always you meet more entitled people on planes than anyone.
Yeah.
that's
like
the worst.
people are just like, I can't believe you've inconvenienced me like this.
I'm about to soar through the sky as a god. How dare you?
I think maybe it's just like you have to have money in order to fly. So maybe it's like there's a certain
Yeah.
amount of privilege
True.
that people flying generally have.
I guess
maybe?
everyone's also just pissed on flights.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
no one's stoked. So if you're a bad person, it's gonna really come out.
Yeah.
I also think in general, when it comes to retail, customer support, things like that, in life, you have to feel times where you feel confident or powerful at some point. And I think a lot of people don't have that. They feel power nowhere, not even in themselves, in their own home, whatever.
True.
So when they go to a place where someone has to treat them nicely and be like, thank you so much for coming to Starbucks. How are you today? That is their one moment where they get to be like, I'm bigger than you and better than you in this moment. And
Yeah.
if it's 8 pumps of vanilla, I'll kill your family, but it better be 7 pumps of vanilla. Like,
Wait, was this on the Australian flight where there was like a larger man that like sat in one of the seats around us, and this woman was like super outspoken how she didn't want to like sit next to him because he was gonna take.
I don't remember that.
Oh, bro.
Wow, I don't recall that.
It was super ockies.
Was there clearly enough room for both people to exist, or
I don't know. I didn't really look, but
It's
I was
still
like,
very
I was
rude
like,
to
damn,
say that
that's
about somebody.
me.
That's pretty awful.
I could never imagine being that confrontational.
Yeah.
It was like some old British lady was
Mm.
like super upset, and it's like, well,
that's how big the person is. Like that's you sort
what
of
are
we
you-
have to do that. We're not going to throw this person into a different part of the plane.
It
because
reminds me of a time I was probably like 8 to 10 years old, and I got on a flight, and I was flying by myself, but I got on a flight, I sat down on this row, it was an aisle seat, and there was a middle-aged guy sitting next to me, and immediately I sit down and he starts looking around, and then he asks the flight attendant, he goes, is there a seat not next to a child or whatever. And I was just like, what the fuck? And he got up and like moved. And and I was like, I remember at the time I was just like, whatever, like I don't care. I'm just a quiet kid. I look back and I'm like, was he legally not allowed to sit next to me? That's now where my head goes, because I was like, that's such a weird thing to do.
No, I think that guy's just being a jerk.
I think he was being a jerk. I think he was being just a weird jerk.
Well, you also left out the part where you were covered in your own throat.
I was just peeing. I sat down. I turned to him. I go pee pee poo poo check, and I just and peed as hard as I could.
Check. Time to check it. Yup. Oh, we got it. We're covered in both departments.
Yeah, nice. Pee pee poo poo check passed.
Yeah. So next time you guys get on a flight, once it's safe to do so,
make sure to do a pee pee poo poo check,
please, and record it. And send it to Shoot Dude.
Yeah.
Send it to Shoot Dude at smosh.com, right?
Yep, that's correct.
That doesn't count as a Shoot
SHOOT.
Dude. That's a shit your pants. That's not a Shoot Dude.
Yo, okay. Literally though, don't do it, but record yourself saying loudly on a plane, pee pee poo poo check, and send it to us and we'll retweet it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and if you get kicked off the plane before it takes off, Ian Hecox will reimburse you for your flight and time.
Also film yourself going to McDonald's and saying Cactus Jack sent you.
No, I'm gonna have to tell you about TikTok because there's a lot of it.
Yeah, and I think it's that's covered.
It's a big thing.
Anyways.
Any votes?
Kevin is just like, damn.
He's like, how am I gonna cobble this together?
I gotta squeeze a minute out of this.
This is a chaotic episode.
This is, I'll say, this is the worst one I've ever been on. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's great. It's fun. I'm kidding.
So send your Shoot Dudes to shootdude at smosh.com. That's SHOOTDOOD at smosh.com. We would love to hear all your Shoot Dudes. Just a heads up, we're on Twitch now. Twitch.tv/Smosh Games. We're recording every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We got all sorts of fun stuff planned. Mondays, we're doing Bored AF. Wednesdays, we're doing like a just chatting kind of thing. And on Fridays, we're going to be playing more like video game stuff. Last week, we played Fall Guys. Well, this would be like weeks after, but we played Fall Guys with Rock Band controllers with a friggin' drum set. So that's just the kind of cool insanity that you can expect from us at Twitch. So come check us out. Please rate us 5 stars on any of the podcast apps that you're listening to us on. If you want to check us out, see our beautiful faces, you can check us out on the SmoshCast YouTube channel. And if you want to listen to us early, we're on any of the podcast apps that you can possibly find. I dare you to try to find a podcast app where we don't exist.
Duolingo?
Oh, no.
K-Lastima? All right.
Fool. Darkness am strongest than K-Lastima.
God damn it. Shayne, Damien, this has been an absolute displeasure.
Arrivederci.
It's
Goodbye.
been cool.
Bomba somewhere.